I was first introduced to the work of Philippe Carl back in 2006 when I watched his DVDs. Philippe Carl is a classical trainer and a former rider of the Cardin Noir. In 2004, he founded the school of Legerete in order to pass on his philosophy. So, to hear he was planning to come to the UK, I was really keen to find out more. In 2009, I took on my mum's horse, Jen. Now, where do I start? In a nutshell, Jen was the horse who found me out, and she basically told me I wasn't good enough. She questioned my 30 years in experience in classical training and really did put me in my place. For 2 years, I endeavoured to do my best. I spent a fortune on different bits, which she would like for so long, and then the tension and irregular contact would creep back, coming above and against my hands and resembled a ticking time bomb. I was told I had good hands, but there was my problem. Jen would feel relief in the new bit and would tell me she liked it. Then in a couple of weeks' time, the bit would become the same as all the others I'd tried, and the common denominator, my hands. I'd also made the mistake in keeping her too slow in an attempt to keep her calm. Her stride was too short, her top line was contracted, so no wonder she used to explode. Her worst pace was canter, and if I wasn't in trouble through the upward transition, I knew I'd be in trouble in the downward transition. Her energy felt electric some days, and thinking back, my confidence and my ability as a rider really did take a knock. I applied for the first Philippe Carl teacher training course and was very lucky to be one of the 9 riders chosen, and the course started in 2011. This is clearly what I was missing, and in the first year Jen changed because my hands changed. She began to understand my language. She started to relax, her stride became longer, her rhythm became slower, even the canter improved. Unfortunately, I only got to complete the first 4 clinics with Jen and continued the course with my horse Espirito. I will be forever grateful to Jen for questioning me, for taking me out of my comfort zone and pushing us towards the School of Légèreté. In 2015, I passed all 4 parts of the exam and became a licensed teacher for the school. Traditionally, we rely on a system of trial and error, riding aimlessly around the school, often with tight nosebands and low fixed hands. The talented combinations who follow the usual scales of training may well achieve a high level, but the less talented combinations just get left behind. When you observe the scales of training, it is clear that you need a special horse with good breeding. The School of Légèreté is different. We follow a logical scale of training. The order of priorities can be re-established when the rider encounters any difficulties. There is no place for tight nosebands, side reins, or any other gadget we see these days. We begin with balance and relaxation, which is the job of our hands, and we teach the horse to have a good understanding of our legs and impulsion. Then, by combining the correct aids with a clever exercise, the horse's flexibility and rhythm improve. Advancing their mobility through lateral work leads towards collection and cadence in their stride, and the whole time their straightness develops, opening the doors to high school for all types of horse and rider. To plan a good sequence of learning is the art of good riding. So what would be a good sequence of learning for a young horse? A good plan would be to introduce the bit and the action of our hands stationary, so the horse can isolate this education. First, we need to encourage the horse to mobilise the lower jaw by adding light pressure to the corners of the mouth, putting no pressure on the tongue and the bars. Then, we need to raise the neck, encouraging the horse to rebalance their shoulders without coming against our hands. Then, we need to increase a pronounced bend both to the right and then to the left, without moving the hind legs to either refuse the bend or through loss of balance. Ficero demonstrates perfectly how difficult he found standing still with the right bend. We then need to extend the neck. The horse will learn to open the angle of the pole and confidently tighten the reins. And lastly, learn to yield to the bit by flexing and rounding the pole. You can see how today's modern day quick fixes just wouldn't give any credit for this type of education. What I would teach the horse last in the flexions is often expected first, and to make matters worse, this is expected in movement, usually in side reins, without any previous understanding of the bit and no regard to balance. The hyoid apparatus is situated in the branches of the lower jaw and cradles the back of the tongue. Through interlinking muscles, the hyoid has a direct connection to the shoulders, the head, and the sternum. Therefore, the hyoid is a major junction for the whole forehand of the horse. A contracted omohyoid muscle will result in the tongue retracting, locking the horse's jaw, limiting lateral flexion, and will interfere with the freedom and range of motion in the shoulders. Tension in the sternohyoid muscle will leave the horse unable to engage the pectoral muscles and the abdominal muscles, stopping the back from lifting. This will also affect the movement of the pelvis and stop the essential posture needed for collection. When the jaw and the tongue are relaxed, in all paces, the movements will become graceful. Giving respect to the horse's mouth and taking the time to speak a language with our hands has the ability to bring the most ordinary horse up to a high level of work. When the rider takes the time to truly balance the horse then will be able to bring their ordinary pleasure rider up to a high level of riding. When the hyoid is free from tension, this will help free the pole and the shoulders and ensure the sternum can help lift the abdominal muscles to one day raise the back sufficiently for high level collection. The horse becomes light, they become flexible in our hands, and most importantly, understand our hands so won't have a need to fight us. When schooled to this system, which considers relaxation, balance, and impulsion in equal measures, and considers individual conformational difficulties, most horses come to a high level of education and not just the talented ones. If, like me, you are passionate about correct, kind, sympathetic training and what results without the use of gadgets, if you'd like to take your horse further than you thought possible, why not follow my page where I will be sharing more videos, articles and posting dates for clinics. I will look forward to helping you explore the School of Légèreté and sharing my learning from over 30 years of classical training. Thank you for watching.